All right, what you're seeing in front of you here is an Addy's dive. All right, copy of the Willard. I'm going to put some gloves on for you guys. Look at this. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I'm getting all serious about this watch thing here. I got into it with a guy this morning in a good way. He did a video where he has had very bad luck with the steel dive version of this watch. It has taken, it's my fat hands. It's very hard to get these gloves on here. I should have had them on, but I had to hit the button to start the phone. These are mountain bike gloves that were silk screened by Chad Logan, Mr. Tick here. So, here's your copy of the Willard. All right, we all know Chinese copy. We're all pretty sure these things are probably all made in the same factory. Steel Dive logo is similar, not the same. It's got flippers and whatnot. This has spear guns. You guys understand all these details. It's a decent case. It's what they call the pillowcase. All right, it's got these nice uplifted shape to it. It's comfortable on the wrist. You can see the coin bezel. You can see it's got a little AR, blue AR reflective there, anti-reflective. And I can tell you that this little protector there, little guard for the crown on that side is a little bit larger. I need something to point at with because these, I can't, you know. You'll see here that the date window's framed. You guys know the loom on this glows. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you guys already know. I'm getting text messages as I'm trying to do this video, so it's annoying. But let me just break out the Willard here. All right, this is the new reissue, the Seiko reissue of the Willard. And it looks to me like the Addy's dive, I don't know, it seems like it might be a little bit larger. I don't have calipers. But you guys know what the specs are on these watches. And you guys know that the hands are shaped differently, and you can see the loom on the Seiko is a little bit more of a pillow to it. You know, it's fuller, more three-dimensional. It's flatter on this one. But I got to tell you, this bezel here, everything's lining up right. The indice at 6 o'clock is centered well. I prefer the frame around the date window that you don't see on the Seiko. Again, I didn't pay full retail on the Seiko. I have a steel dive version of this coming as well. Now, you're all looking at this and you're like, why is he doing this? Well, before I get into that, let me just show you something real quick. This watch came with the case. It came with the Addy's Dive manual. It's actually pretty nice. I didn't expect any of this. And it came with the metal band, which I did have out, and I'm unimpressed with it. It seems pretty cheesy. It's got some extra pins and whatnot in there. It's got I guess a warranty card here. It comes with a little tool, which is nice, and I needed this. Anyhow, I have nothing at the moment. All this is new to me, as you guys know. I mean, it's a joke that I'm wearing these ridiculous gloves, and it's like 90-something degrees, so I'm sweating my balls off. But, drop the Seiko. Yeah, I mean, very, very similar. Very similar. Very, very similar. Here's the thing. This Willard here, right? A version of this, we know it's not the exact same thing, but a version of this was worn by the actor Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now because it is the watch that a lot of GIs wore during the Vietnam War, okay? And Seiko has been making working tools, right? These are tools. And this Chinese version here is a copy, right, of the Seiko. What I'm going to get into with you is this. I believe that these knockoffs right here, I believe that these are the working man's watch. I think this is one of the best things you can buy if you're a blue-collar working dude and you need a tough watch that wears well on the wrist and is comfortable. All right, because the way it sits on the wrist, because of the shape and everything, it's very comfortable. The 4 o'clock crown, when you bend your wrist, it's very comfortable. You'll see here, the crown is marked with the Addy's Dive logo. It's weird the way what this wants to focus on. But you guys can, I think you could see it there. I like their logo. I think it's kind of cool. Screw back, supposedly 200 meters. You can see the loom wants to work now, even though it's pretty bright in here. You can get a bit of a look at it. This is a steel dive band. It came on this band. Not bad. I like those waffle bands because I like that the underside of them is relieved and there's a hole in each pyramid, so that should relieve heat. I was wearing this for a while already today, and it's been so hot I'm sweating quite a bit. So, but I think, like this watch here, I think I got for $72 with the case, the paperwork, the extra band, the tool. The way I look at it, if you can pick one of these up for around $80 or less, just do it. I mean, specs alone. This is a sapphire crystal. It's a ceramic bezel. Stainless steel case, screw back. I mean, to me, the finishing on this looks pretty good. It's probably got, I mean, I bought this used, by the way. I'm only buying used watches. You can talk to the guy who owned it and ask them about it. I didn't do it with this because I could tell by the pictures I felt pretty confident about it. I think you should buy one of these every time you see one, again, if it's $80 or less. Now, I was only hearing good stuff about these watches. I'm watching all the videos, and these videos have been out for a few years now. They've been making them for quite some time. If you buy used, you're probably getting one of those versions. I'm hearing that the newer versions over the past year, people seem to be having more issues with them. Now, for a watch so inexpensive, I think it's laughable in a way to complain about misalignment issues. Like if there's an indice that's slightly off or the bezel doesn't line up right, I think that's, what you should expect, actually. On this one, everything works. I had I'm going to take the gloves off for this. Let's give you, the gloves were more of a joke. I thought you guys might get a kick out of it. But the action on this is pretty good. The bezel sounds good. Let's see here. Oh, I went too far. I'm doing this through the phone, so you guys get the idea here. I did have that lined up pretty well. Seems about right. So also the screw, nice. No problems here. It's not grinding. It does wind. I don't think you can hear it, but it winds. It hacks. And the date works. Oh, I just changed it by mistake there. Oh, we're in the winding phase. Finding that little spot to change the day, that's a little tricky, but I got it. Let's go through. Today's the 29th of July. There we go. Push that back in. Push it in to screw it in. And like I said, this is working flawlessly. There's no grinding. The spring's actually pretty strong on it, wanting to push it out. You have to push it in pretty well to get those threads to catch. And then there we are. So that's tight. No problems there. Apologize when I hit the camera. Enough relief on the underside there. It's polished under there. I mean, this is a good one. I got lucky. I watched another video earlier, and there was a guy that, I guess these watch channels, which clearly I am not, but these watch channels, they do these polls with their followers. And I think they have online, like other websites. And apparently up to 32% of people buying these Chinese knockoffs, they like to use the word homage. They're homages to the Willard. Let's just call it what it is. It's a knockoff. And I don't mind that. But apparently up to 32% of people have some sort of complaint. From what I gather, most of the complaints are fit and finish. I don't know. Are you guys seeing anything wrong with this? Because I'm not. But I hear you. And nitpicking things like they're saying, oh, the hands aren't exactly the same. Well, of course not. It's a cheap watch, man, made in China. You can see on the Willard here, I'm trying to get you a decent look at the hands. A lot of glare. They call it anti-reflective, and all I get is reflectivity here. But there you go. You can see the center of those hands are... There's a high spot, and it bevels down into either direction there. I don't expect it to have the same hands as this. I don't expect it to have all the exact same details. I expect it to mimic this, and actually really mimic the original. But I'm very happy. And again, I think, a lot of people use the term Seiko killers. 100%, man. This watch right here goes for $1,100. This watch was $72. They both have sapphire crystals. They both have 120 click bezels. They both have the pillow, the kind of cushion style case. Seiko's the original. You definitely want that. But come on, man. So if you're a carpenter, you're in the trades, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're out there working all day, you're a surfer, you're going to be out in the elements, and you need a watch that's going to hold up to some abuse, take a little bit of a beating, and you don't care about it. You need it tough enough so it doesn't just break on you right away. You can't go wrong. Now, there have been a very few people out there who said the thing stopped working on them or it didn't keep exact time. I will report back to you on this. The other day, and hang on a second, let me get my other watch. I went into my watch place the other day with this, and my great-grandfather's pocket watch. He's going to rebuild that for me. And I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm really happy with this Seiko, but this is the Turtle 733 or 773J, blue face, blue bezel, and made in Japan. And I said, hey, I noticed that, second day, I'm 2 or 3 minutes slow. Can you adjust the time on this? And I put it down, and I started talking to his son. It's a family business, and we were talking about other stuff. Another guy came in. What I didn't notice was he had actually picked this up, put it on his bench, took the back off, and already started working on it. Right there. And he made a few adjustments, and he's got the machine. He's got that digital readout. And he tuned this. I didn't ask him what it was, actually. I forgot, because we were talking about so many other things. But he tuned this watch for me right then and there. It took him 3 minutes. That's it. And he was done. And he told me that it does need a service. He said he'd like to have it in for a cleaning. He said he could get it better. But he said it's already much better. He said it was kind of out of whack when he opened it up, when he put it on the machine to look at it. You guys will remember the Atlas here. Been wearing this a lot. Thought I had a rag here to wipe this down. I was wearing this today earlier when I was working. So it's been getting kind of dirty. When I come home at night, what I do is I wash my hands in the sink, and then I, with some cool water, and I hit this with a little bit of a fingernail brush just to get all the crevices clean. All right? Especially now that I've been watching these videos. And I was at the watch place yesterday, and they took a band out to show me. It had people's hair and muck and dirt in it. Every day, people, just clean your watch. If it's a water-resistant watch, just do it. So this is the one that did it for me. This is what started everything for me, was this Turtle. It is so comfortable on the wrist. But all these watches now are going to sit here. I'll pick them up and play with them and put them on at night, maybe wear them out or something. But this right here, this is going to be my daily wear. I'm going to wear this every day from now on and see what happens. I'm going to let you know. And here's the thing. It's a Seiko movement, okay? If I notice it's running too fast, or if I notice it's running too small, I will walk 2 blocks away. I'll go into my watch shop. I will talk to my watch guy. He'll bench this thing for me, and he'll adjust the time for me. He'll do an adjustment. It's a Seiko movement. Actually, I'd like him to. I'm going to bring it in anyhow. I'll report into you guys on it, because I want to know exactly if it's true, like how decent of a Seiko movement it is. We know. I think it's the NH35. Yeah, because it doesn't have the day. Again, you'll see. I just want to point out to you that on the Willard, the crown protector above the crown is a little bit smaller than on the knockoff. And you guys know that on the Turtle, it's just protected a little bit from the bottom and there's nothing really on the top. But I'm just telling you, I think this is the working man's watch right here. This is a tool watch. All right? And again, if you break it, you beat it, you drop it, and it cracks, big deal. Go buy another one. I don't see the point in me wearing a Seiko to work every day if I can wear a $72 Addy's dive and be stoked. And I'm going to buy these every time I see them that cheap if I'm doing okay. And I'll have a whole drawer full of them. And the plan is really, I'll give them away to people. You know, I've got friends that could use a watch. You know, this is a nice gift to give to somebody. Doesn't break the bank. I mean, again, I'm lucky with this one. Fit, finish, everything looks good. If it keeps good time, I'm going to be stoked. Yeah, I want to put that up next to my ear. It sounds exactly like the Seiko. When that rotor moves, that's the way I like to kind of wind it, other than hand winding it. You know, they say if you wear this all day, it'll top itself off by the end of the day. I believe this is like 38, 40 hours of reserve. I believe that's the same for the Turtle. And then this one here is supposed to have over 70 hours. And on the Atlas, this does not have a winding, and I don't believe it hacks either. Pretty sure it doesn't hack, but let's find out. It does not hack. All right. So this Seiko 5 is curious to me. It's I forget what the movement is. I'm not Joe expert. I'm just kind of learning this stuff. But this one here, you have to move it around. Just put it next to my ear and did that because I wanted to hear it. And yeah, they all sound the same. So in the mornings, I pick this sucker up and I shake her a little bit. And I have been wearing this one to work, but this is going to be my adventure watch. This is what I'm going to put on when I get in the van and I know I'm going to go out into the forest and do some hiking and that sort of thing. That's what this watch is for. You know, it's kind of funny, right? I went from having nothing to having a whole bunch of them. There's more coming. But I am going to be done now. The only other thing I want is maybe a bronze version of this because I think they're neat. I think it'd be neat for one to patina to my body based on my body chemistry and where I live and where I'm wearing it and all that. But again, right now, this one here was a success. The only thing that I can't see right now, again, would be the movement and the time. I've been playing with it here for a while. Well, I guess the times are all set a little bit different on this. Maybe this is either running fast or I set it fast. Oh, I was moving the hand around a minute ago, so that's probably what happened. But I'll set this to the correct time. I'm going to wear it all week. And by the time the other watch comes, I'll show you that. That'll be a steel dive. So we'll compare this Addy's dive to the steel dive. Again, I'll pull the Willard out at that time, compare all three of them together. And I'll let you guys know how well this one's keeping time. If the steel dive comes in and it has the same fit and finish as this one, which is superb in my opinion, then now it doesn't have the drilled holes here for the pins. That's a negative. So I guess changing the straps can be more of a hassle. So that's the one thing. No big deal. When the steel dive comes, if everything's lining up and it's a decent enough watch for me to wear, I'll wear that for a week or two as well. And I will report back to you guys on how well they're keeping time. I literally just got this in the mail a few hours ago. I've been wearing it around the apartment, talking on the phone and whatnot. So, yeah, that's the end of this video. You guys have a good day. Be good to one another. And this is just me nerding out on watches all of a sudden. It's just the latest thing. Believe me, I'll be moving on. I did just order 2 new CV axles for the van, so I'll find the time next week to get them in. And then I think I'm doing a little road trip probably next week to Arizona for a few days. I got to check on the house there, and I'll take you guys along with me for the ride. I wonder which watch I'll wear. Like I said, be good to one another. Have a great day. It's the 7 5/8 inch wrist there.